All right, kiddos, looks like we're going to do 11 through 16 just to knock out these last questions on the review guide. Again, if you happen to be a person that's rushing through this, I do feel pretty bad for you. There will be some special things for the people that stick it out to the end. For those of us that are kind of scrubbing through and just answering it and pretending like we're doing work, well, that'll be a negative day for you, unfortunately. So it is what it is. So going on, what best describes the effect in an area if low clouds cover the sky during the daytime? Low clouds covering the sky during the daytime. Now, hopefully you watch some of the videos where they explain this. When you have clouds that are overcast during the daytime, what they're doing is they're reflecting and absorbing some of that heat, not allowing as much radiant heat from the sun to reach the earth. That has nothing to do with driving ability. It has nothing to do with decreased precipitation. So these are the two things. You have what do clouds do during the day and what do clouds do during the night, and they will both be on the test. And so what do clouds do during the day? They have cooler temperatures. Cooler temperatures. Again, kind of put yourself in those shoes. You go outside on a cloudy day. Do you typically get as hot? We're not talking humidity. We're talking just from the sun. Do you typically get as hot from the sun on a cloudy day as you would on a day where the sun's kind of bearing down on you? So you have cooler temperatures. And as we move into the next, I think it's the next few questions, we jump into water cycle, which again will be on the test. How does a decrease in temperature turn water vapor back into a liquid? So I have a gas going into a liquid, and I know that happens in the atmosphere. After water evaporates, it tends to lose some heat energy because of the temperature decreasing, and it changes from a gas back into a liquid. And so we need to think about these things. Does precipitation have anything to do with turning water vapor back into a liquid? No, that's a form of water that falls from the atmosphere to the earth. Transpiration, I know that has something to do with plants, and it's kind of like quote unquote plants sweating. So we know that the answer is not B. Now, we know that water can go through different changes in its state. What do I mean when I say vapor turns into a liquid? That is not evaporation. Evaporation is when a liquid turns into a vapor. And again, this goes back to when we had heat exchange, chemical and physical changes, states of matter. You need to remember those older words. But we know that when a decrease in temperature happens with the water vapor and it loses its heat energy and it turns into a liquid, it actually turns into tiny little drops that are clouds, because cloud formation is condensation, or condensation is cloud formation. Just depends on how we need to say that. Moving on to number 13. After a hot sunny day, a plant withers and dries up. Man, my trackpad is toast. What explains how this happens? Now, we all know that when plants get hot, they go through this process. And if you listened in the question before, you heard this. Respiration is breathing. That is not the answer. Precipitation is water falling from the atmosphere. Condensation is cloud formation. And I know a lot of us in class always say transportation, but it's transpiration is like a plant losing water through its leaves. And there we go. How does an increase in water temperature caused by the sun impact the water cycle? So when we increase water with the sun, does it condensate, transpiration, precipitate, or evaporation? We know it's not transpiration. This is the third time we've talked about plants sweating. It's the third time we've talked about rain, sleet, snow, and hail. When water gets heated by the sun, it does not turn into a cloud. It evaporates and goes up into the atmosphere, and later when it loses heat energy, it turns into a cloud. 15. The processes of the water cycle. A says evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. Those all sound fantastic to me because they do sound like that. And like I've said before, I hate it when the answer is A. I always get nervous. Okay, metamorphosis. Well, we know that's not the answer. We haven't talked about that this year. You did that in like second or third grade. Precipitation, perspiration, mitosis. We won't even get into that. Fixation, respiration, and decomposition. That sounds like something in an ecosystem, and so we were correct. The answer is A. Those are the processes of the water cycle. I think we have one more on the last page here. Using this diagram, it's asking us what is happening here. Well, I know it's not this, so it's not radiation. Down here is where evaporation takes place. This is precipitation. So this looks like a cloud forming, and cloud formation is condensation, or condensation is cloud formation. And you've made it through the test. If you're still listening, when we take the test, if you will just take out a small slip of paper or a Post-it note, write Bob Ross on it, turn it into me, I will give you 5 points. That's right, 5 points on your test. Do not share this with other people. If you get caught sharing it with other people, neither one of you will get the 5 points, because this is to make sure people listen through the entire thing. I hope I get to see you guys very soon. If not, we will continue to meet virtually in these videos. And as Hunter would want me to say, smash that like button and subscribe.